Okay, let's go. We'll go ahead and call the meeting to order and ask for approval of the May 24 minutes. Did everybody have a chance to breeze through those? And do we have someone willing to raise their hand or say yes, that this looks good? Okay, and a second? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, okay.
I'm sorry, I didn't catch the first or the second.
Who's that?
Anne.
Was the
Okay.
first?
Anne.
Second
Was the
John.
first? Okay,
Yeah, Ann was the first, John Sneed second.
thank you.
Okay, and I don't see, do we have any public other than representatives from WDI? I don't see any. So this made it really easy. Christina, it's yours now. Block by block initiative updates and questions and answers.
Yes, so good afternoon, everyone. It's good to see you all again. I have asked James and Jack, we tried to do this at the last MSD Advisory Committee meeting, but it was canceled. So we're just going to do a mid-year update. So this is for calendar year 2024 of the MSD operations provided by our contractor Block by Block. So I have here with us today our operations manager, James Slay, and our street outreach coordinator, Jack Morris, both with us here today to go through a brief PowerPoint presentation, just to inform you guys what's been happening throughout this calendar year, as well as help answer any questions or understand any needs that that you see are needed throughout the district. So with that, I will turn it over to James Slay to begin his presentation. Thank you.
Thanks, Christina, and it's so great to be with you all today. I'll just do a brief kind of overview of what we've been up to so far this year, and go over kind of where our services are. We're currently operating weekly at 144 ambassador hours, and that is supplemented with 40 hours for our team lead and 40 hours for our street outreach. And with my 40 hours, that brings the program up to 264 hours per week to serve the entire MSD service area, which for our convenience, we break up into 3 distinct areas. And I guess the heavy lifting that we do is inside of our core zone. That's where the most user activity takes place. However, it's been interesting to see over the last 4 years what Zone 2 has been able to really accomplish. And you almost want to think of Zone 1 really, and not totally, but big picture, that's really your convention center and your community college area, and they're kind of self-sustained. So we're not really going onto the college ground per se, unless we're requested. But we have seen some uptick in Zones 2 since Live Oak Bank Pavilion came on board. In those first 2 concert seasons, we saw a 30% increase over the peak season in our public engagements. This season, however, there has been a downturn, and I think just the word on the street is most of the larger acts figured coming to Wilmington during our rainy summer season probably wasn't the best business decision. So it looks like they're stacking September and fall. And we're, like what we had over the last few summers was concerts, every 2, sometimes 3 concerts a week. And our numbers just went through the roof. And that's just not the case. So earlier this year, Christina and I had a meeting and we kind of shifted what we're doing to be a little bit more on the cleaning side of things. And this is just a random Friday from last month. And this is our walk paths. And so this is the core zone walk paths. You can see what I mean by the heavy lifting, and it's right there along Water Street and Front Street. The really the heart of our CBD is right there. Then you come out here to zones 1 and 2, the walk paths obviously look a lot more busy around the PPD building is where the entrance to the concerts are. And most concert nights, we will actually deploy out there to get motorist assist, hospitality, contacts, and things of that nature. And then these are really the nuts and bolts of what we do. And this year, given that that hospitality aspect of the program has been trending downwards, we pivoted more towards special projects. And now that we do not have 165 hanging baskets to water that took us about 10 to 11 hours a day to water, we're able to use our truck a lot more and accomplishing some of these bigger ticket special project items, a lot more landscaping. And as some of you may know, towards the end of our fiscal year, we had a surplus, which we utilized to buy some plants to replace along Front Street, some flower beds that had been empty for well over a year. And it was a great project, and it was a high impact, high vis project. I mean, what we do best really is flexibility and being able to quickly respond to things. And that really supplements what the city can do. So you're looking at graffiti removal, usually within 8 to 12 hours of the first reporting. If there's something very large scale, it might take us a little bit more time to get out there. I will point out hypodermic needles this year are at an all-time low. And that has been trending that way since we were able to relocate the larger encampments of our unhoused population that was utilizing the Mellow Lark Lemon Bridge as a temporary shelter. So that is a good trend to see. And it's also interesting to see that, handbills and graffiti removers are almost, neck and neck. So we see a lot of those handbills going up on all of your street posts in downtown, and those are quickly removed by our team. So these are the hospitality numbers that we're seeing for the year. And, that number for hospitality context, might seem big, but once you put it into comparison over the last, 3 years, it really is trending downward to the rate of close to 30%. I think we're steady on business contacts. Business contacts are a great way for us to kind of keep our ears to the ground in terms of what our businesses are seeing, what they might need assistance with. Especially around our big events like Riverfest, Azalea Festival, and things like that. They're always asking about, the parking situation and all that. I didn't throw this stat up there, but I think it's important that we're being tasked to kind of address a lot more Riverwalk maintenance requests and just maintenance requests in general. So far this year, our team has submitted 677 maintenance requests. That's just through January 1st through August 11th. And we are seeing an uptick in Riverwalk maintenance requests. So that's something that in the last, I would say 2 or 3 months, we've seen an increase in. Chance was actually able to get us some surplus safety and traffic cones. And we've now been able to deploy those cones out to the Riverwalk. So we're talking about large holes that would be trip hazards. I know we had one of our employees down at the Marina Grill that tripped through one of the holes and was injured. I believe she had to go to urgent care. So now that we have these safety cones, it's great that we're able to quick deploy and then get those over to parks for service. And then what you see right now is the work of just one man, and that is Jack Morris. He is our outreach coordinator, and this is his amazing work. And since the pilot program launched, he's been able to really build some very, very productive relationships. And not only with the unhoused population, but with our business owners, property owners. He's been able to assist in mental health crisis issues. And then, just as of today, Jack was able to place one of the downtown unhoused populations into the treatment center at the Healing Place. So this pie represents a lot of hard work on Jack's side of things. He's doing a really, really good job. And as well as our entire team. This is really the core team that we have. Chris took over as team lead earlier this year after Thomas Peterson left the program. Michon is our cleaning ambassador. He's one of our 2 full-time. Rob is a part-time. He is a retiree, as well as David Poppy. And they're doing tremendous work. And thanks I really appreciate the opportunity to present in front of you. And Jack and I are here, and we would be happy to answer any questions that you have.
Just some background and some side notes for you all. So we as collectively WDI and Block One Block have come together and have alternated our 144-hour ambassador hours to a 90-hour 54-hour split between cleaning and hospitality. So going forward, we're going to be focusing on more cleaning efforts now that we're seeing a little bit of a downturn in the number of visitors that we're having. So this is an initiative that we are taking to date and trying to shift some of that focus into providing more vibrant districts for downtown. Jack has also been intricately involved in the city and county unhoused joint committee meetings. Has been doing a lot of work behind the scenes with other social services providers across the county to help create some out-of-the-box solutions that county commissioners and city councilmen can come to the table on and direct staff on the city and county side on how to move forward. In addition, Jack is also participating in meetings with the Wilmington Police Department. It's a new monthly meeting schedule focused on police relationships with the unhoused population, not just for the downtown area, but countywide. So not only is he working day to day on the streets of downtown Wilmington, he's also pivotal in helping shape initiatives that should be coming down the pipeline in the coming months. So with that, I'll let Jack and James answer any questions from the committee.
You guys are doing an awesome job. I literally almost ran into Jack the other day. But no, it is noticed the ambassadors, considering how we started out, we said they kind of look like mall cops. It's not at all the case now. You guys are making an effort to meet the business owners and know their names and become, teammates. So people are noticing it and definitely value everything you're doing. Even though Christina gets all the credit, but no, you guys, thank you and thank your team.
Thanks, Terry. Appreciate that.
Does anybody have any other questions for him?
Hey, Jack, Chance, or James, Chance here. Got a quick question. In your pie chart, there are 400 plus hospitality escorts. What's grouped under the hospitality escorts? Are those phone calls from individuals just for like an escort from A to B, or there's some other stuff kind of grouped in there?
Yeah, so those definitely get generated through the ambassador hotline. But they also are, chance meetings that we might have with a tourist that's looking for something that's harder to find. We'll go ahead and escort them down there. Most of it, though, is really later on in the evenings and at night. A lot of the shops, especially when it gets darker later on in the year and during the Christmas shopping center, they have a lot of young employees that are working their shops, and we'll walk them to their car, late at night. I always tell the team, look, we have our walk paths and they're important, but nothing is more important than helping someone have a great experience. And it doesn't matter if they work here, live here, or are visiting. So any chance that we can, we'll take the time to walk someone to their destination.
Okay, cool. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, no worries.
Yeah, I think to the committee as a whole, I feel like that's a service that kind of gets overlooked. I get questions about that regularly, and I refer the number to individuals, and as a representative body, committee members, I think that's one we should be sharing loud and proud, and giving out that number for business owners, employees, and whatnot, because it's a great service that's getting paid for through the service.
I said, I just got back from traveling, and every time I do, I tend to bug Chance with all these amazing ideas other communities are doing. But one thing I noticed we were in several small communities around Denver that are similar in size, but a couple of them, their ambassador programs had roadworthy golf carts. And the same thing, not just walking people to their car, they would help people. If a mother needed help with a baby and with a stroller or whatever, they just, and we even talked about the liability and the insurance, but they said the positive responses coming back were far greater than, any negatives or the cost of the insurance. But that might be something we might want to consider at some point.
I believe we've looked into golf carts in the past, Terry, but I think there's regulations surrounding that where we cannot operate golf carts downtown, but that predates my leadership. But we have looked into it in the past. I would love to have some sort of extra vehicle to help get around.
Christine, I think it was the motorized like John Deere Gator utility type vehicles that was expressed in the past. Golf carts, I think, as long as they're licensed, insured, and can pass annual safety inspection, I think golf carts are a go. I mean, our parking contractor has 4 of them on the street now, so licensed, insured, and fully street legal.
I think it was, unless it's operated by the city, it's not permitted. But we'd have to look into that a little bit more.
Well, yeah, feel free. We can talk behind the scenes on that. I feel like it was a John Deere Gator type situation, but I may have been wrong.
Fair enough. All right.
Okay, any other new news or new topics that Ray? Is that Ray? Do you usually want to chime in a little bit about the riverfront lighting or the Christmas tree lighting? Hello. I think we woke him up.
I have a question since we haven't met for a while. What happened in the park by River Place to was it graffiti and including the really cool fish? Did they catch the people? The bike rider, the 2 little pieces of artwork at Bijou Park.
And are you talking about the like didn't someone push over the fish or something, and then some
The
graffiti
fish
at the
is
same time?
gone. The fish is gone, and the poor little frog or whatever's riding the bike's missing a whole arm.
I don't know. I could follow up. I remember it happening. I don't know anything that came across my desk in terms of resolution or if they called anyone. Lieutenant, you got anything on that? That was what, a couple months ago?
Yeah, we haven't met.
Mayish, maybe.
Like you, Chance, I'd have to check into that. I'm not sure off the top of my head.
Do we
Yeah,
have
I remember, and I remember when it happened, because we have cameras at in a few strategic areas exterior to the parking deck there at River Place.
Mhm.
And I remember, I have to go back and look at my notes, but I remember when it happened, I took a peek at the cameras, and because of the distance from our closest camera to where it happened in the park, I mean, there was you could see a moment where the statues or the pieces of art were in their correct position, and then just lack of activity and distance. Like 30 minutes later, next time we catch any movement, things are gone or whatever it was, that we didn't really see much on the camera side, at least from River Place. So
As well as the cars that were broken into in the River Place deck. Because that's happened since we met.
Yes,
Lieutenant,
we
you
have,
might have some good news on that one, right?
yes, sir. We have made arrests in the parking deck, breaking
Yay.
in there. So,
Yeah.
yeah, we've arrested 3. And I believe there's 1 or 2 still outstanding, but we are making progress with that.
And then just a tidbit of recent subject matter on that. Believe it was last week, our parking contractor caught 2 folks pulling door handles in there and got to them, and I believe called WPD and got them out of there. I don't believe there were any notable incidents, but I think 2 positives of that one. Number one, we are hopefully doing our due diligence on the parking contractor and security side before Lieutenant's team even gets involved. And number 2, what I saw on camera from the incident they sent me on this one, every car they went to was locked. So hopefully the message is getting to the residents, the parkers there, to just conceal valuables and keep those doors locked, because that's half, if not most, of the battle there.
Thank you.
And a few months back, we parking WPD and myself representing WDI and the MSD, we met with a lot of folks at River Place to hear and listen to their complaints and surrounding these things. And I think there's been a lot of coordination between WPD and the parking team and myself to help respond to a lot of issues that have been noticed in that one central block. So, hopefully we can keep up with that in the future, keep up with that relationship with the folks that are surrounding in that area. And if there's any other areas of concern that should come up, we'll try and be the eyes and ears on the streets as far as the MSD is concerned.
Yeah, I heard that meeting was great from fellow residents. I wasn't able to attend, so I appreciate you guys doing that.
Well, I guess, let's do the police department. Any other good news?
No, but first I would like to say, James and Jack, thank y'all. Y'all are a tremendous help to us, and your team is amazing. Jack is doing a wonderful job. I mean, when we're dealing with the unhoused, a lot of times he's our 911. He's our first call that we make. A lot of things get handled before we even have to step in. And a lot of times we're dealing with them, and we do know a lot of them, but as soon as they see Jack, it just brings them down a couple other levels to where they can be dealt with really as a human being. I mean, I hate to say it like that, but sometimes it's a little different when we show up. And then when Jack, they see him in a different light. So thank you for that. I mean, it's amazing to have you down here. But as for stats, we did 6 bar inspections last month, 74 total charges throughout the downtown district, which is a lot less than normal, which I'm extremely happy with. 4 of them were drug related, 15 were alcohol related. The rest is trespassing, domestic, stuff like that. A lot of the issues we're still seeing are underage kids coming down here on the weekends. We're working, and they're not getting into any of these establishments or anything like that. It's just coming down to hang out, and whether it be fight or pick, battles with some of their enemies that they see on the street or whatever they have going on. But we are working hand in hand with the DA's office, trying to figure out a solution for that, whether it be a loitering, some sort of loitering charge that we can hit these kids with, and maybe even some parents, because I believe that's what it all boils down to. And then we are also meeting Monday with ALE and a couple of our bars down here just to talk about some of the issues that they're seeing. But other than that, we're just preparing for school to start back up and some heavy crowds.
I'm going to bring up a tense subject. I think I've talked to Chance about it as well, but there's a new bar downtown called Dirty Dan's.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh my gosh.
Yes, we have actually every Friday and Saturday night, I guess they were having bands outside.
Yeah,
We have now taken our decibel reader up there and making sure they are within their limits before they even get started. And last week was the first week they actually moved them inside. So we have hit them with a warning right now. And they are well aware of what could come in the if they continue. So they're on our radar as well as ALE. They've paid them a visit and spoke with them as well about they're an 18 and up bar. So, we're getting a lot of fake IDs and stuff like that. So ALE has paid them a visit and let them know also what kind of repercussions they could have if that continues. So
they've been very bad neighbors to Manna, Hell's
Hell's
Kitchen.
Kitchen, yes, ma'am.
all- And I'll be honest, we have producers staying in the unit above the comic book store that we're, the guy that created Dawson's Creek staying up there, and I don't want, we don't want the film industry running away.
Right, absolutely.
Yeah,
So
but
all of our guys are well aware, and that is our number one stop Friday and Saturday nights.
thank you, thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, let's see, what do we got next? Chance. WDI, have you got more for us, Christina?
Yes, just a few notes from the monthly report for July. If you guys could see, we've done a little bit of change ups with the monthly reporting this fiscal year. And we're doing some bullet points on some of the issues that we're addressing. So 85 motorist assists, something that we're very proud of to help motorists and pedestrians and the safety around that. We also had we pressure washed over 11,000 linear feet of sidewalks in the district, had 110 hours, special project hours within the district, comprehensive landscaping and tree assessment, and Riverwalk trip hazard assessment. We conducted this and are currently keeping up with some of the maintenance requests that we had. A total of 9 maintenance requests just on the Riverwalk. And we're mitigating hazards with those safety cones now, and we will temporarily mark areas off, such as holes or other issues to ensure that patrons are alerted a little bit more easily. There's better visibility with the cones being placed there until the city of Wilmington can resolve some of these issues. So continuing on that work, and then Jack, of course, is continuing his efforts within the district on all the initiatives that I mentioned previously. In addition, we will be meeting with the grants committee, the WDI grants committee, to go over the terms and conditions of the new public safety grant program that we're building. If you recall, through the last budget cycle, we had this committee had approved $25,000 in another grant program to help establish camera systems and better lighting throughout the district. As long as they tie in with and sign the MOU agreement with the Wilmington Police Department and its Sting Center, we will help fund a certain portion of those security upgrades to improve public safety assets in downtown Wilmington. So we will be meeting in mid-September and going over that program. We're going to have a 2-hour workshop with our grants committee. Very excited about this program, and hope to invite a security team, a camera security team that has already worked in establishing a system and tying in with WPD Sting Center on a property on 3rd Street to help give us an idea of how much these systems cost. What are the constraints in tying into the Sting Center? What do business owners need to know when doing this, and how to go about it with a little bit of a financial mindset and helping business owners save additional money if they can, if they're going to be upgrading.
I don't know. I'm on a Zoom call, so I can't really hear him. Sorry.
What's going on, Veronica?
We heard you that time, Veronica.
Yes.
Someone was talking to me. I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. Looking forward to establishing that program and hope to bring some updates to the committee in our meeting in September on that. And I believe that's our interactive parking map is now officially linked to the City of Wilmington's website. So through our Bring It Downtown campaign, we have built this interactive map component that's sitting on our website where visitors can explore the parking amenities as well as everything that there is to explore in downtown Wilmington. Really proud of this new map and hope that it will be widely advertised moving forward. And so yeah, that's now online and ready to use. So please feel free to share with your networks. Thank you.
Okay. Hey, Presidente. Oh, you're still on mute. I think, well, we're just on the last segment, which would be chants and city updates.
Sorry about that. Thank you for taking over. Sorry I was late.
No problem.
Thanks, Terry. Thanks, Tom. Only thing I had on my list today was just kind of a FYI to the committee. Based on some quick conversation I had with our city clerk, that ultimately led to council's appointment committee. They are potentially looking to scale down our MSD committee here. 14 members is its current level, which is pretty big for a city committee, if not one of the biggest. I think at the same time, they're having some challenges filling some of these very unique, specific representative roles in this 14-member committee. And at the same time, we've got 6 to 7 members either expiring or expired and carrying on beyond their terms. I think Nancy, Elizabeth, and if I'm remembering correctly, Ray is also about a year beyond their expiration and volunteered to continue on just to fill those seats. So Tom, I will be getting with you probably in the maybe next week, if not 2 weeks, on just some ideas. Ideas such as do we break this? Do we bring it down? Do we potentially scale it down to 9 members? Do we scale it down to 7 members? Do we go as far as 5 members? And at each level, what those individual representative members end up being, whether it's 2 residents versus 3, a very generic property owner versus large property owner. Maybe it's 3 or 4 at-large members now instead of a very specific retail restaurant, that type thing. So I'm gonna put some ideas on paper. I would like to get with our chair, Tom. Terry, I might bring you in on there as vice chair as well, just from the rep as the business community. And then I think I'm supposed to present to council early September at their committee's meeting, and kind of based on feedback from that, I think the next step would probably be to bring something back to the MSD committee, potentially to vote on in September. So.
Okay. Sounds like a plan.
And Tom, I think there's a few folks here from day one, you, Ray, Bobby, maybe Nancy. Leading into the MSD 6 years ago, there's various opinions and various support on both sides of this. And my assumption, this predates me, but assumption is that the 14-member committee, they were trying to make it as representative as possible with some of the varying opinions and support on the MSD subject as a whole. So I think hopefully we're beyond some of that, and it's a fairly well-oiled machine now, and scaling that back a little bit, I think could hopefully become advantageous to everybody.
I couldn't agree more. Absolutely.
I think that's it on the city side.
Okay. Do we have anything else?
I have a
Hey,
general.
this is Ray.
Oh,
Now I figured out how to unmute myself. I'm on my
Oh,
phone.
no.
Yeah. Yeah, I think maybe on our next meeting, I'll give you an update on the Christmas tree lighting. I've been working with some folks that we in the past have put together the Christmas tree lighting. We have seek some funding. It looks like we have some money coming from the Bring It Downtown, the parking money, to help fund the event. It's an event that started, a while back, and started out very small and has turned into something very large. And we'd like, now, that we're going to do the enhancement of the lighting on the Riverwalk. We see it as like a springboard and like a kickoff campaign to showcase, those efforts to light the Riverwalk. So we got some really cool things happening with that. So I think the next meeting I'll give you more of an update on that.
Great.
I had just a question as a owner down there. Homeless that are sound asleep below like the River Place in front of the retail stores. Are they allowed to be there at the crack of dawn, or what are we supposed to do as residents?
LT, do you want to take that?
Did I stump the crowd?
Hey, Ann. Okay, it looks like it's unmuted now.
Okay.
Sorry, I couldn't get it unmuted, and one of my guys just walked in. What was the question again? I'm sorry.
The question is, we typically have someone sound asleep below River Place, like in front of the downway from the Dollar General and in front of the Aveda Salon. It's been happening pretty regularly. What is our responsibility as a resident of, are they allowed to be sound asleep all night long? Like when I take my dog out, I obviously get a little nervous.
If they're down there, I would definitely call. We have somebody here all the time, and we can shoo them off. That's not a problem at all.
Because they're not allowed to be down there taking a nap, right?
That's right. And I'll let my guys know. And I have 2 day shift guys, and they come in at 6 in the morning. I can make sure that that's one of their first stops, just to they're supposed to really make their rounds anyways. And I will make sure that happens.
Okay, because it's been happening more and more. I don't know if it's the same person because they're all buried, underneath all the.
Right. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
We've also had some issues in front of 6 South Front Street at Spice Merchants. Where
Okay.
there's some vandalism and people camping out there, sleeping, drunk, drug, I don't know, all of the above. So yeah, if you could keep an eye on that, that'd be great too.
Yes, sir.
Hey, and I'll also relay the River Place arcade area right there on Water Street. I'll relay that to our contracted security team at night there, just to keep an eyeball on it and just make it part of their loop around the deck, just loop through there, up the steps and back up.
Around there. Okay. Thank you.
So, and just a question, you said you don't have any idea what the guy looks like, first name, anything like that?
Nothing. They're usually covered up. Occasionally you can see their eye peeking out, but I go to the other side of the sidewalk because it's just me. I'm a little
Yeah, no, I understand. It's intimidating to see
I
someone
don't
like
walk
that.
up and say, "Hey, what do you look like?"
Yeah, no, so
I'm a Jack now.
so a lot of what I do is trying to, get somebody out of trouble before LT has to get involved. So that's hence my question.
Right, and it sounds like they'd be more approachable to you of kind of understanding what's going on. They could just be passed out drunk, but I've noticed it more and more even in the warmer days.
Yeah,
It's honestly, it's a natural cover spot. It's away from everybody. It makes a lot of sense. It happens everywhere.
and I don't know if you're aware of this, Ann, but just a couple months ago, maybe it's a little bit longer ago, they fenced in the generator in the alleyway there where they were using as a camp. So they might have just migrated out, to that area recently, because they used to be sheltering in the alley.
Okay,
So that might be the cause of the visibility and you seeing more of them.
a little bit more. And it's usually just one person, so it could be the same person every night.
Yeah, and usually in that alleyway, we were having the same individual over and over again. So yeah, Jack, it might be something that we just keep an eye on.
I was literally shooting LT a text. I
Perfect.
think I have an idea of who it is. So yeah,
Is there security footage that you guys can maybe obtain to help Jack identify who this individual or who the individuals are? So maybe he can go and speak to him.
I don't think we have cameras along that arcade area.
If this
we
is
have-
right out in front of DGX or the Citrus Salon, I know DGX has cameras out there.
Yeah, I was gonna say private may. I think our footage kind of stops right there at the steps at our main service hallway where it becomes covered. So yeah, DGX or somebody might have some cams.
Yeah, but if Ann's description is correct, they're all covered up. You're not going to get much out of that.
Well, you can see, you might be able to see them walking in at some point. I can at least ask the GM at DGX to keep an eye out on the security footage, and if she sees something, just to take a shot and send it over to me.
That'd be a great idea because they're there when Dollar General opens at 7 in the morning. So they're still out there.
Perfect.
And Bobby, same thing for Spice Merchants. Do you guys have security cameras out there? You're on mute, Bobby. I'm sorry. Can you?
I don't think he has a security camera there. No, there might be one across the street at the light from the city. Has some cameras there.
Okay.
Thank you.
Sure.
Is that it, guys?
Hey, one last thing I'd like to bring up. I've seen recently that has been an issue in the years that I've been downtown is that whenever there's any kind of press release on anything that's happened in the downtown area, I'd rather see, and again, this is something that is past history that we fought. I know I fought with other people to get changed, is that we give the location of the area in which the incident occurred and not use the word downtown, because there's stuff that's been happening up, 5 blocks, 10 blocks from the CBD that they label as downtown, and people that are in other parts of the city immediately think that it's happening in the CBD, and that's hurting our businesses. So I want to, just communicate that to all the people here that, if anything happens, let's give it a location, 10th and Ann, or, rather than use the word downtown, because the perception of downtown when something really bad happens, if you use that, is that it happened in the CBD. And a lot of times it hasn't happened in the CBD. So.
Great. Star News has done that for years, and so has TV channels. Yeah,
Yep.
we've fought for years to get that.
We have to remind the reporters about once a year, don't, well, fifth and what, I think we had classified it third to the river we called downtown. They could just.
No,
not
it's just better not. I think it's just
Yeah.
better not to even use the word downtown.
Yeah, just
It's
give a
just you
location.
give the location. Yeah.
Yeah. That's
Great.
okay. Anything else? All right, do we have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second. Ray.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Enjoy, guys.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Yep.
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks.